Rob.
Tony. And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the Inn. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. Today we're going to be going from rank 5 to 4 in this Road to Legend episode by playing some N'Zoth Priest. Priest has actually been basically my favorite class to play for the past couple days. I almost want to say a week. So we're probably going to play that for a little bit depending on how it does. And if it doesn't perform very well, we might switch over to the Cthulhu Warrior, as Warrior is my favorite class. But Priest it's actually moving up in the ranks of, oh my god, this is going to be a really long game. I actually haven't played against Priest in like 3 days, so I can't even complain. Well, because we know this is going to be an extremely long game, I'm assuming he's going to be playing N'Zoth Priest, and if he's playing N'Zoth Priest, then he will be late game just like us. So I really don't like any of these cards. When we play Sylvanas, it's just going to get entombed, and I'd rather it not get entombed. The Circle of Healing, you know, I would keep this versus, like, let's say, a Warlock or a Shaman, because of the, if I get the not Shadow Priest, but the Soul Priest, we can clear board, and also the Escapade Evil is good in those matchups. But in this opening hand against a Priest, I think we're just going for Elise, going for that True Heart, which we've got True Heart. Shade is good because we can actually steal some cards out of his deck. The Harrison Jones is just going to be played naturally. There's the Elise too. This is a pretty good opening hand in my opinion. Versing another Priest, knowing that he's probably going to be playing a very slow, control-oriented deck. In my opinion, he's probably running Firebat's version of the deck, as he just posted that, I think, 2 days ago, and he said, hit Legend with this deck, easy, 2 hours, great against Zoo. So that probably enticed quite a few players to go ahead and give it a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and coin out the Elise just because we have 2 4-drops here. I know that it's going to get Shadow Ward Pain, but putting the map into our deck ASAP is pretty important. We have the N'Zoth in our opening hand, so like let's say we can kill or play enough Death Rattles until turn 10, play the N'Zoth on 10, and then hopefully draw the Monkey before that, or maybe even shortly after. So it looks like he does not have a Shadow Word Pain, but we can expect one very soon because that's the way this game works. 3-drop is on 3-drop on the board. Shadow Ward Pain coming. So probably going to put the Power Word Shield on the 4/3 if we have time to do that. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, we have no really great way to effectively deal with this 4/5. Priests really struggle with dealing with 4-attack minions, as we've, if you played Priest at all, or you're familiar with the class whatsoever. So if we attack our 4/5 into here, we'll actually lose out on it. So we're actually going to Power Word Shield this. We're going to draw another card, of course. We're going to swing. And then we're going to heal up the, well, we can't, if we heal this, it still doesn't take it out of Excavated Evil range. If we Circle of Healing, we lose out on, I almost like Circle of Healing here, because it takes both of these cards out of Excavated Evil range. Seems like a weird play, but I think it's the right play. Normally you'd save that for field clear, but we're playing against a Priest. He's not going to be building up the field like crazy. It's not what you guys think. So we've saved, like, keeping these 4/5, oh god, now he can Circle of Healing. So we've made it actually worthwhile for him to clear the board. Hey look, we replaced our Circle of Healing. That's pretty funny. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it literally just sounded like a card just crashed. All right, so this has 3 attack, this has 1. So we can actually, well, we can heal this back up to full. Just a pinch of vigor. And then swing into here. And then we can Circle of Healing it back up again. But how useful is that? Let's say he Holy Novas. That's pretty good. It only kills 1 card, though. So Circle of Healing to keep it healthy, I really don't mind. Again, 4-attack creatures against Priest is so very crucial. Like, they just can't deal with it. Like, if I, like, playing against Druid and all those 4-attack minions they have, Druid, like, steamrolls Priest because of that. So this is going to be hard for him to deal with. Ooh, Chill Maul. Okay, so hopefully we can draw into, that's not exactly the card I was looking for. I definitely do not want to entomb this 6/6. If it didn't have Taunt, I probably would have maybe traded it, like just gone around it and pretended it's not there. We had a Flash Heal in our hand. I would go and Soul Priest Flash Heal passive, but because we can't do that and it's going to contest both our 4/5s, I almost have to Entomb the Chill Maul. But at the same time, if we Entomb the Chill Maul, we're not able to Entomb, like, let's say his Sylvanas and things like that. But in this situation, I think this is best just because, again, he cannot deal with these 4/5s. That's why he had no other play there besides the shaping. And I don't think this was in Firebat's deck. So I think he's playing like his own little rendition here. Oh my god, another shaping. Oh, Jesus. All right. Wow, those things have actually really helped him out quite a bit. All right, so I guess it's just the True Heart, and we're just going to continue to go face here. There's no point to kind of acknowledge this 7/9 because we can't actually deal with it at the point in time. He's getting really lucky off of those shapings, though. Both those cards are really powerful.
That's what I would do.
It's weird that he would kill. I guess it would make sense for him to kill that over the Shade, because the Shade can give me like a Shadow Ward Death or something. So he's going to Shadow Ward Death our 6/3, which is actually pretty good for us. And he's going to Darkshire Alchemist, which is fine. He's probably going to... Okay, Power Word Shield makes sense. This is not looking good for us, folks. On a scale of 1 to good, this is bad. All right, Sylvanas is pretty sick here. But unfortunately, it just gets entombed. But we're going to have to... well, we swing into this, heal it up. This is at 3, this is at 5. Sylvanas puts him in an awkward place, and we also have the N'Zoth on 10, and 2 Shades have died this game. So essentially, we're playing the Sylvanas in hopes that he just, like, he kills our 4/5, kills off Sylvanas somehow, and then we can play the N'Zoth on 10, and then we have the Golden Monkey still in our deck. But the problem is him entombing our Sylvanas, but if he has Entomb, he's not going to use it any other time than on our Sylvanas or another Death Rattle that's really as good as Sylvanas, which we don't run Karen or anything like that because of the way this deck is built. So if he goes ahead and attacks our Sylvanas here, this is really good because we're actually going to be able to get that out of N'Zoth. So we've essentially got 2 Shades and a Sylvanas out of our N'Zoth so far, which is going to be really, really difficult for him to get past unless he has like an Excavated Evil, Soul Priest, Circle of Healing. That would clear board. So we're going to go ahead and Shadow Priest the 2/1 and then swing into his... Well, we can't even... No, that's actually pretty good. Shadow Ward Horror kills both these cards, and then we can heal this to kill that. And we've effectively dealt with the board. If we Shadow Priest this and attack the Shade, it leaves this 1/2 alive, and the 1/2 can trade into our Shade. But how bad is that if we're going to N'Zoth anyway, right? So I think that's actually fair to say it's decent here. We also could Flash Heal this and keep it healthy. But I like the Soul Priest Flash Heal combination. We also want the Shade to die because we're going to N'Zoth. So I think this is fine. In this situation, anyway. If we didn't have the N'Zoth in hand, and yeah, so he's going to kill the Death Rattle, which is really nice. So we're going to get 2 Shades from our N'Zoth. We got another Flash Heal with a 6. We're doing a trade-off with the Loot Hoarder, which is pretty funny. Just going back and forth with that Loot Hoarder. We want the loot. Embrace the Shadow to Flash Heal to 4/5. Okay. So 2 cards to kill my 1. Makes sense. And you used a card to take back a card I already had taken from you in the first place. So we could actually play this out a little bit greedy. We could go ahead and Museum Curator and Flash Heal passive. That doesn't... I don't really like... Well, it depends what Death Rattle this gives us. But essentially, if we play the N'Zoth here, I think we're in a pretty good boat. Like, he's hoping that we don't have N'Zoth because... Yeah, we're just going to play N'Zoth here. There's no reason not to. We get 3 creatures out of it, and these 2 creatures get us even more cards. So it puts him in a really bad situation, in my opinion. There's no more Light Bomb, so we don't have to worry about that. So he's going to Entomb the Sylvanas, which would make sense. He's been looking for that Entomb for a while, unless he's going to Entomb the N'Zoth, which would also be pretty bad. But then we would just Entomb back the N'Zoth. Or hopefully we'd win before that happens. So he's going to Entomb the Sylvanas, which I think he should have Entombed the N'Zoth, to be honest, just because if he plays 2 N'Zoths, that's really bad. Like, that's game winning. But we're not going to question his methods. Let's not tell him what to do. We actually got one of his Entombs. That's insane. So we actually can Entomb... Well, Entombing Shadow Priest doesn't feel that great, as it's not going to have many targets this game. But I think getting an Entomb out of the Shade is huge. Okay, so we can actually play this a little bit greedy now. We could go ahead and Soul Priest passive the 4/3 down. This is going to cost 6 mana. Or we could go ahead and Museum first, see what we get out of that, and then plan accordingly. Hey, look, we got another Sylvanas. Holy shit. This is why I'm playing Priest right now. Is this not crazy? And now we're going to swing into the Loot Hoarder, and then we're going to go 5-face. Actually, we could have just won. I did not recognize that we had 3 Flash Heals in our hand, which is 15 damage with Soul Priest and a passive for 19. So we could have just done 8 damage burst with Priest. That was my bad, guys. Holy shit, I missed lethal there. I'm glad I recognize that now. Great. And now he Shadow Word Pains my Soul Priest, so this game is going to take a bit longer now. And he's going to play his Sylvanas. We're just going to entomb that. Jeez, guys. I'm sorry. We missed lethal. lethal myth. So we're just going to take his Sylvanas. We're going to kill off our Museum. We're, of course, going to play our Museum, and then we're going to heal up our Shade. We're going to play Karen, or get Karen, because he's a lot better than the taunt in this particular match. Let's say we're playing Zoo, we would have picked the taunt over Bloodhoof because they would have to attack into the taunt, but in this situation we're fine. So I found that Museum Curator and both Shifting Shade are super good in almost all matchups for value generating. Like Sylvanas, Bloodhoof, Chill Maul, it's just insane how much value you can get from them. So we're going to play Sylvanas just in case he just winds up playing his N'Zoth. But for most likely, we have lethal here. We also could have played another Harrison and kind of avoided him playing Excavated Evil. Clears 2 of our cards. We only have Sylvanas left, and then he heals face. So he's going to Shadow Word Death, which is perfectly fine. And there's the Excavated Evil. So if Harrison Jones would have lived there, another Museum Curator. This is insane value, guys. This is absolutely insane. All right, so we're gonna Bloodhoof, Museum. We should have Museum first just to see what we would have gotten. Definitely do not like the Summoner. I guess wow, we'll just call him Exodus. Because if we take the Twilight Summoner, he Shadow Priest that, and I really don't feel like giving him that, to be honest. Unless we okay, we just gave up. I'd give up too. We should have had lethal a couple turns ago with the triple Flash Heal, but that's my bad. How did I miss the triple Flash Heal 15 damage Wombo combo from Priest? It's Wednesday morning at 8:36 a.m. That's how. Thanks, Matt, for pointing that out. Alright, so Shaman's a decent matchup as long as we can draw into our Shadow Word Pains for the most part. Elise isn't that important. We do have the coin, so coining in... Well, we definitely don't keep Entomb. If we would, if it was like maybe a Paladin matchup. But in this situation, it's fine. So we have a 2-drop, coin, and 4/4, which seems okay. But again, we're looking for that field clear. We're not really looking to compete on the board so much as making sure the board state at the beginning of the game is being controlled by us. But if we put back everything, it's not a guarantee that we get good shit. So I almost want to put these back and just hope for Circle of Healing, Excavated Evil, stuff like that. But this is still a decent... We're just going to go with this. I'm not going to be too greedy. I was really... Oh, there's Soul Priest. So if we draw Circle of Healing, we are in the clear. It's just having at least one form of field clear this early on in the game is so good against Priest. And are so good against Shaman. And this is why. They just have such a burst start. So like Shadow Word Pain, Excavated Evil, Circle of Healing, Alkanized Soul Priest... even drawing our Shadow, I think it's Shadow Word Horror or something crazy like that. It's the 4-drop, kill all 2-drops or less, which works against Feral Spirits and that kind of stuff. Alright, so we're going to Curator, hope for a taunt or something like that. Infested Tauren works, even though it's not the best of the Death Rattles we could have gotten. At least it's a 2/3 that, like, you know, can generate another 2/2 out of it, plus it has taunt. Alright, so this is not looking too good on a scale of 1 to good. This is like becoming exceptionally bad. We could coin out the Elise, or we could just Shadow Word Pain one of these 3/3s, and then... The Elise... I like the coin Elise only because it has 5 HP, and he's going to have to sacrifice either both of these Trogs, one Trog and a spell, and if he doesn't, we're going to be able to kill the Flame Tongue. It's still semi-early in the game, so unless you like Feral Spirits here, both these get +2 attack, and he swings for 10, I think we're pretty good. But again, if he just goes face here and Feral Spirit, okay, so he's going to Mana Tide, which is fine. All right, so we're going to... Wow, I think we're going to have to clear board here. Because there's no... We have to get rid of Mana Tide and we have to get rid of Flame Tongue. We can actually do both. So we would Shadow Word Pain the Flame Tongue, swing into here, and then he has 2 of these left. So I think that's okay. Okay. If these guys had a little bit more attack, I would have Soul Priest, Circle of Healing, but that blows basically our only field clear right now. And we effectively dealt with the board with what we played there. Okay, this is fine. Shadow Word Horror was good a couple turns ago. Alright, so Soul Priest, Circle of Healing doesn't feel that great. The Taunt right now, again, doesn't feel that great. I need to heal, and there's like, if we heal, we basically don't play anything else. So do we just play the Taunt here and it keeps the 2/2 on board? I believe so. This kind of sucks. Doomhammer on 5 is always really tough, especially if we don't draw Flash Shields or Justicar. To kind of keep up with it. That going face is pretty important because now he has to either swing his Tunnel Trog in here or he's going to have to swing both Doomhammer charges or 1 Doomhammer charges in attack. But it looks like he's just going to make the attack with the Tunnel Trog, put it down to 1, and then he's questionable whether he should kill the 2/2, which he should because we would have been able to kill the Tunnel Trog. So Excavated Evil's an okay draw, but again, we still can't heal if we use the Excavated Evil, which is a problem. But this field needs to die, even though it's not that powerful. We're getting at that like iffy life. If we Shadow Word Horror and then heal, he still keeps the Tunnel Trog out, which is a problem. If we go ahead and blow the Circle of Healing, we do stop the damage, but it essentially allows him to just swing. It's actually not that bad here. Okay, so we're just gonna heal. Soul Priest, Circle of Healing, clears the board. He's going to use one of his weapon charges to swing into the 3/1. So this actually effectively saves us 2 more HP, which may not seem like a lot, but when you're playing the game against the Doomhammer, every little bit counts. Especially when they can Rockbiter it and turn it into 10 damage, which is ridiculous. I was really hoping that wouldn't be a Totem Golem, but knowing our luck. And this is why I didn't want to use the Circle of Healing. The Circle of Healing, because he just fills up his board like this. But if we would have kept the 5 damage down and he Rockbiters or Rockbiters and then Spirits, we basically lose. So it's kind of like, this is why 2 forms of CC is nice. But yeah, it doesn't really look like there's going to be an amazing sort of comeback here. We can hope, let's buff this up. Seems like a weird play, but maybe we get something good. We don't. If we entomb the 5/5, he's basically has still 7 and then 4. So he's 12 damage if we entomb this. If we heal for 5, he keeps his 5 down, but we develop a card. And if we do nothing, obviously, that's not good as well. And entombing a 5/5 really doesn't feel that great. So healing for 5 is essentially the same as killing this for 5, but we develop a card as well. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be GG, whether he has a Rockbiter, a Lava Burst, a Flame Tongue Totem, anything that basically does more damage, especially a Bloodlust. Okay. Yep. That's what happens sometimes, guys. You don't draw the answers you need. Alright, so we'll go one more with Priest, and then if we lose this one, then we'll switch to Cthulhu Warrior. But I'm pretty sure that's just a bad game. Normally, I don't even mind the Shaman matchup. Like, we do pretty... The problem was keeping the Elise and that Shifting Shade off the opening. We should have just went for all field clear or Shadow Word Pains or stuff like that. So next time, we won't... I wasn't even being greedy. Normally, that would be a really nice start to us, but the double Tunnel Trog really shut us down. I'm pretty sure double Tunnel Trog will shut anybody down. Alright, so... Harrison Jones, as good as that may seem in the opening hand, if he just doesn't draw the Doomhammer, it kind of just sits in your hand the entire game. The Shadow Word Death is a really silly card you'd think I'd keep, but it's actually the only thing we have against that 7-drop that he's going to play on turn 4. So this is actually a pretty decent starting hand, as weird as it may look. The Sylvanas could be exchanged for maybe like a Circle of Healing, or maybe some like 2-drop creature like the Museum Curator, but for the most part, this is fair in this matchup, because we can't expect to get a crazy hand. But Shadow Word Pain is good against Totem Golem. This is good against the 7-drop. Oh, there's the Museum Cure. We're going to save the coin. There's no reason to just play this right now. He only has effectively 1 damage on the board. And again, if he decides he wants to play Totem Golem here, then we're just going to go Shadow Word Paint on that anyway. Okay. So Circle of Healing is basically what we're hoping for in the upcoming draws. Any form of Taunt is nice. Infested Tarn is okay, right? But the problem is, like, it just doesn't do anything. Like, it's a 2/3 for a 4. So basically he just fucking raffle stomps over it, and then just the taunt, the 2/2 slime that comes out doesn't even have taunt. But having Sylvanas, so like on turn 5 we Sylvanas, and on turn 6 we Sylvanas. But the problem with Sylvanas is he's not going to be playing any really huge creatures unless he plays a 7/7. But we already have an answer for the 7/7, and there's no other Shadow Ward target besides Thing from Below, and he's not playing that until late game because he doesn't want to use it until he gets discounted. So it's basically between the Infested Tarn or whether we want to double Sylvanas. And the only reason I like the Infested Tarn is basically because it has Taunt, but in comparison to Sylvanas, it's a shit card. But I don't like having double Sylvanas. Like, it just doesn't feel good. Like, it feels good versus any control matchup. Against fucking Brokeback Mountain Shaman, it does not feel the greatest. We also have no turn 4 play. So there's the Totem Golem. We're just going to Shadow Word Paint that. We're still at 27 life, going on to turn 4, or 3. So effectively, we're doing a lot better than last game. His field still isn't crazy. We don't have our field clear, but we do have a coin into the Alchemist, or we just have the Infested Tarn, which basically contests everything on his board right now. Because he didn't have a turn 4 play, it's telling me he does have Rockbiter. So if he swings this and this kills it. So using our coin now to play the shield to keep it healthy if he doesn't have Doomhammer is really good. He's also going to have to use a Doomhammer hit to get through this Infested Tarn. So I'm expecting a Doomhammer here based on his turn 4 play. It would only make sense. If he totems here, then his hand is very weak. He probably has maybe a Thing from Below in it, probably Thunderbluff Valiant, maybe even Bloodlust, Lava Burst. He's not playing creatures, which tells me his hand is utility spells. Or really high drop creatures, or creatures like Fire Elemental or Thunderbluff Valiant that normally are only played maybe on turn 7, where you can combo that with your hero power. And I don't understand why we've received so much hate. When I say passive, that is basically the same thing as hero power. And I say passive because I know it doesn't exactly mean what passive means, but that's just what I call it. So you're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I'm not mad about it or anything. It's just I don't understand why you would get upset because I call it passive. But you know exactly what I mean, right? Like, it's just each character has their own hero ability, and that hero ability is like a passive ability you can use every turn if you want. It just makes sense to me, but not to everybody. That's just the way it is. So having double Sylvanas, if we would have known this, the kind of slow start he would have, or he did have, would have been nice, but we didn't know that. But I still, you know, the taunt helped out, and it did its job. And we haven't even played Sylvanas yet, so it's really not that big of a deal. Okay, we're at 28 health. We have the Circle of Healing, and we've got the Soul Priest, which is nice. So I honestly like either the Sylvanas here, or the Shade, and then we will heal this, and we will swing this into there, and then we will swing this into there, and we'll call it a day. Taking off the Divine Shield's important because if he decides he wants to Flame Tongue Totem, this card will still die. But now we're kind of prone to another Lightning Storm, but if he uses 2 Lightning Storms, I think that's pretty fair. Slows down his hand a lot. That's also a card we should have considered that he wouldn't use until we had at least 3 cards down. Things will never be the same. Any new comments in the chat, boys? Comments in the chat. Honestly, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Every time I hear Rob's voice, I look around and think, God, is that you? And by the way, the heartache you guys face with shit draws and bullshit makes this channel so real and awesome. Huge fan here, guys. Been here for a while. Came for the Hearthstone, stayed for the value. Glad to hear it, man. Hey, look, he did have Thing from Below. That's on it. And then he hashtag Elven Archer Value. You're a true fan, man. Anybody who knows Elven Archer Value on this channel is a true inmate. Like, all of you guys are, you know, all of you are innate. But like the managers, the people who've been here for a long time, They know about that Elven Archer value. All right. So the first thing I take a look here and see is I see my Shadow Priest and I see this Tunnel Trog here, and I really just want to take this little cute and cuddly creature. But at the same time, if we take this cute and cuddly creature, we only have 1 mana left over, which means we have to sacrifice creatures to kill this 5/5. That doesn't feel good. Like, this feels negative good. So if we go ahead and use 3 mana to kill this, we're definitely not Soul Priesting, which means we're going to be Curator. And Curator is going to give us some fantastic death rattles. Alright, maybe not as good as before, but Abomination really doesn't seem that bad, right? Considering his entire field is consisting of cards with mostly 2 or less HP. So then we're going to swing into here. And then which one do we heal? We're going to heal this, and then we're going to trade into here. And the reason being is, we know he doesn't have Flame Tongue because he hasn't used it, and he would have if he had it, and he only has 1 damage on the board, which means essentially he can kill our 2/1 if he really wants to, taking off the Divine Shield, making our 1/2 trade into his 1/1, or he can Flame Tongue off the top here, which, the Valiant. Okay, so this is essentially where we're going to use the Soul Priest combination, if he goes face, but it looks like he's killing off creatures, which is fine. Totemic, really not a bad choice here. Okay. So, I mean, we don't even really have to Soul Priest. We could technically just Abomination and then deal with that next turn. Or we could just Entomb that, but then we don't have an answer to his 7/7. I think Soul Priest Circle of Healing is okay for now, just because the amount of cards he has. He has literally only 2 cards in hand. We have Entomb if he plays anything huge. We have Shadow Priest if he plays Feral Spirits. We have Abomination if he somehow is managing to bring out massive amounts of totems quickly. And then again, we've got the N'Zoth late game. But I don't think N'Zoth in this matchup is necessarily our win condition, more so of just outlasting them and making sure we just slowly but surely take over the field and wither their resources down to nothing. Which sounds a little cruel, actually. It sounds like a really, really intense and bad time for everybody. So Shadow Priest on the healing totem doesn't really feel the best. Sylvanas and Totemic actually feel pretty good. We're at 26 health, so I mean, if we get a, ooh wow, this Mana Tide's really good. I was hoping, Totem Golem's fine, Flame Tongue's good, but lots of like double Rock Biter, Lava Burst, or some crazy shit like that.
There is a lot at stake.
Alright, so Thunder Bluff passive. So it looks like he's playing Totem Shaman, which Ostaka was playing yesterday in the Star Ladder tournament. Very, we have the Shadow Ward Pain. That feels bad. A 2-drop kills your 5-drop. I definitely would have used Pain instead of Circle of Healing if we had that choice before. It looks like he's going to go ahead and kill off our Mana Tide totem, but it's basically too late. It's just too late to apologize. So we're going to kill this, and now that this totem is actually worthwhile taking, we're just going to go ahead and take that. We're going to Power Word Shield it, which makes him have to use both his charges with his Doom Hammer to get through this Taunt Totem, so he's going to take 4 damage just trying to get through that Taunt Totem. And the Kansamida rolls down. And this is basically how the Shaman matchup should go against this deck. As long as we can get that early game to be able to out-control them and just make sure they don't get that huge burst potential and we can keep their field at bay, it works out quite nice. We're 28 minutes in. We'll have this rolling for maybe 1 or 2 more games, and then we'll have 2 parts to this. Not that we're doing really bad here, but we did lose that 1 game, which set us back. I didn't really intend to lose. Who does, right? We're playing against the Paladin, so basically everything we've known so far about our mulligan is gone. If he's playing aggro Paladin, we keep Circle of Healing. But we know he's not aggro Paladin. So we're going to keep Harrison Jones, and that's it. We're looking for our Entombs. That's it. Entomb is the most important card in this matchup, because when he plays Tyrone, we play Entomb. And the reason I'm saying Tyrone is because Show, a very popular Twitch streamer, instead of saying Tyrion, he says Tyrone, and it is hilarious. So I'm now saying Tyrone. So I did not make that up myself. And there's our Entomb. So I think we're pretty safe here. Normally we want to Entomb his Sylvanas, his Bloodhoof, or his Tyrion. Always Tyrion though. Always Tyrion though. The reason being is Tyrion is big, and then normally if we can Shadow Ward Pain, yeah, we're gonna take the Infested Tarn again. So normally like we can Shadow Ward Death the Sylvanas when we have no cards out. We can effectively deal with her without giving him anything. But for the most part, the Bloodhoof, because it has 4 attack, we can't really deal with that well. And whatnot. We know he does play Doomsayers, which is a problem. We can coin out the 4-drop, or we can save the coin for turn 6. I think coining out the 4-drop is fine, because we do have a response with another 4-drop. Or we could play the Infested Tarn, which kind of contests the Acolyte of Pain. Even though he will draw 2 cards, it's better than him drawing 3. So we play the Shade, he swings into here. And then he has 2, and then he kills the Shade with his True Heart, or True Silver. And then he attacks it again. And this is why we saved the Shadow Word Pain. This right here, Doomsayer. That is exactly why. So we're just gonna go ahead and kill that off. Now our option is to Power Ward, Shield, or Heal. I really don't value this 1/1 highly. So I think we're going to attack into here. We're going to heal this up. And effectively, I guess we don't have to make the trade with his Silverhand Recruit right now. If we don't, we're prone to Consecrate because he would just attack and Consecrate. But if he wants to do that, that's fine. We know he doesn't run any buffs in his deck, and he's going to have to make this trade anyway. So like, a Swinging Face doesn't feel that bad because we have this taunt. There's a True Silver, so he's going to swing his 1/1 into our museum. So effectively, we're able to do 1 damage, but that 1 damage didn't matter because he healed for 1 anyway. So everything just didn't matter there. And now we can Harrison. This is exactly why I kept Harrison. It's because this matchup is extremely slow, and killing off that True Silver champion is pretty nice, and throwing down this 5/4 is pretty contesting. So now he's going to either play Sylvanas or the Bloodhoof. Oh, the Aldor or the Peacekeeper? Okay, that's fair. So we could go ahead and, well, what other low creatures is he going to be playing? We know he played, we don't want to take an Alkaloid. I think 1/1s are going to be the best thing we're going to be able to take, right?
Let me change your mind.
Is there a better play here, though? We could Shade, Power Word, Shield the 2/2, swing, and then this goes down to 1 HP. And we don't deal with that. So I think Shadow Priesting the 1/1 and then swinging and killing this 3/3 is fair. Again, if he plays Sylvanas, we just Entomb it. But we're getting to that Tyrone area, so we gotta kind of make sure we draw the second Entomb before we use this Entomb if we decide not to use it on the Tyrone. Okay, so there's another Doomsayer. That's effectively contests the board pretty well. I mean, there is a way around it, and we will go with that. So we're going to heal up this 4/5. There we go. So our other route of action, if we didn't draw the Shadow Word Pain, was to play the Soul Priest, use our passive, and then swing into it. But because we drew the Shadow Word Pain, this actually worked out pretty well. So now we're going to, we actually don't even have to Shade here. We'll just up and heal this guy, swing into there, and then go face with this. He's not going to want to Equality Consecrate. If we played the Shade, he will want to Equality Consecrate. So this kind of, you know, plays around that fairly well, I suppose. Alright, so now we will play this. We're going to Power Word, Shield this. We should have drew before we played the Shade, but it's fine. This goes into here, this goes into here, this goes into here. And then we're going to heal up our 3 just because it plays around the Consecration. If we were to heal, we obviously don't want to heal Harrison as he only has 1 attack too. Another True Silver to kill off our 3/4. Okay. So he's actually drawn fairly well to deal with our field thus far. We also do not want to play the Windrunner when he has the weapon out. If he didn't play this weapon this turn, I would have played the Windrunner because then he won't play Tyrone. But in this situation, it's just best to do this. So we're going to play the True Silver. We're going to heal our Harrison up and make him the Silverhand Recruit Killing Master. The reason we didn't swing this in first and then heal him is because he would have died. I'm pretty sure he was a 1/1 a second ago. If he was a 1/2, that was my bad. But, yeah. Actually, really, I don't enjoy this matchup due to how long it takes, but effectively, it's not a bad matchup for us. Oh, did we miss lethal again with Soul Priest double Flash Heal? I need to pay attention to that shit. So how much damage do we have here? This is 15, and this is 10, and this is, we have 19 damage. Fudge. That's so close. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're entombing this bad boy. I know this is not the best thing that could have happened, folks, but we have to do it, and then we go face for 4. The reason being, if he plays Tyrone, we can effectively deal with that with Sylvanas. If he doesn't heal here, we win. Okay, so this is 5, and then with Soul Priest and double Flash Heal, that's game. And also, let's say he plays Tyrone here, and only Tyrone, we Sylvanas, we Shadow Ward Death our own Sylvanas, and we take it. So, there's always options there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh man, we're only 2 games away. We're 35 minutes in. Alright, well, hopefully, if we win this, we'll play another one. If we lose this, then obviously we'll call it here. The only bad matchup is Rogue and Druid. Every other matchup is favorable. Well, in my opinion. Alright, Shaman. How will we deal with you today? Alright, keeping the Shadow Ward Pain, of course, to deal with those Totem Golems. Entomb and Corruptor can go back. We're looking for the Circle of Healing and, of course, the Soul Priest. Shadow Ward Death is okay, too. If he ends up playing the 4-drop 7/7, but that's always a maybe. Welcome back, Sylvanas. You always seem to be in my opening hand, which is not where you should be. But you know what? I'll accept you for who you are. Shade is decent. It's a turn 4-drop. It's kind of sad when your curve pans out to your first creature being played on turn 4, right? It's just like, that is such a slow deck. That is so slow. You're super slow. Alright. We normally heal our opponent when they're at full health just to let them know we care, but it's too early in the morning. It's actually 9 o'clock now, so it's actually not too early, but it's still early enough where I don't really feel like doing too much. So we're going to go ahead and play the Shade here. Not much else to do. We drew our Escapade Evil, which is nice. It doesn't really look like he's playing an aggro-oriented Shaman deck, which is fine. I really don't care what he's playing, as long as it's not Rogue or Druid. And the only reason Rogue is crazy is because he turns his cards invisible, so we literally have to draw Soul Priest, Circle of Healing to deal with the invisible Auctioneer. And then Druid is just a bombardment of 4 attack creatures. Like, Shadow Ward Pain doesn't kill them, Shadow Ward Death doesn't kill them. They have a lot of health, and our creatures don't. So it's not good when you play against a Druid or a Rogue. It's almost an automatic loss unless you get a fair hand and their hand is Garbo. What would he be targeting? Why would he Rockbiter himself? Oh yeah, it has 3. For some reason I thought this guy had 4 HP for a second there. I was being a silly goose. Hex. That's actually really, really good. Because I don't know what he's playing. I have no idea. As good as Excavated Evil looks here, I do not think we play it. We will be playing Sylvanas on turn 6, though. What the fuck is this guy playing? If he was playing against any person playing aggro, he would have just gotten destroyed. Like, absolutely, just utterly wrecked. So we're going to play Sylvanas. It's going to get hexed, I know. But it's one of those things that it's going to get hexed no matter when we play it. Hex off the top that's the best kind of hex. Charged Hammer. So it looks like he's playing OTK Shaman. Very interesting kind of little shindig he's got going on here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, Shadow Priest this. We're going to get it a little bit more annoying, and we're going to give this more HP. And then we're going to, I know he's got the Elemental Destruction. He runs 2 Elemental Destructions and 2 Lightning Storms. So I can expect, okay, so there's the Hex, which is fine. It looks like he's saving those Elemental Destructions and Lightning Storms. He's going to use the Weapon Charge to swing into there, which means we definitely need to heal this next turn.
Welcome to the exhibit.
I think Harvest Golem is fair. This needs to be healed. Unfortunately, though, we're never going to get through this because next turn he can just use his passive again. We're going to give this more HP, and we're going to have that live if he decides he wants to Elemental Destruction. And the reason, normally in the fatigue, like this is going to go to fatigue more than likely. And because of that, normally we don't want to use our cards like Power Word Shield to draw. But because he's used his draw mechanic, we're still ahead. So it's okay. As long as we're not beating him in the draws, all is all right on the field, folks. And again, Shifting Shade, in my opinion, one of the best priest cards most people overlook. I mean, it gave us a Hex. In the previous game, I actually played against a Murloc Paladin, and I got Anything Can Happen and Tyrion from like both my shades. Absolutely insane. So he's gonna go ahead and use a Lava Burst, which is part of his OTK potential, onto the Shadow Priest, which is really good for us. Soon his passive is going to turn into deal that 2 damage, and he can use it on creatures, which is slightly annoying, but because we're playing Priest, it's not as annoying as it may seem. I don't think we're ever gonna get value out of the Shadow Ward Horror. It also deals with the field quite, oh gosh. I forgot our cards. Die to that too. Oh well. Oh, it's early, guys. It's early. I'm sorry. All right, let me just add this video over here real quick. And that was my bad. Killing our own creatures, you know, maybe not the best thing that we could do right now. But you know what? As long as we recognize and tell them that we care, it's really all that matters here at the end. Wasted quite a few cards. Where is this video? It's under tips. There it is. Healing Wave. Heal for 7. I'm sorry about that. So we actually kind of want to go for the OTK on this guy because we can do 14 damage. OTK. Wow, that actually helps us do the OTK potential. And it really doesn't matter when we play Justicar because we're at 30 health. We're not healing, so it's not. There's no point to do anything. Normally you heal, you're Justicar, you heal. It's funny, they both popped out of the Joust and then he gets the Fire Elemental the following turn. That's super funny. So I like Shadow Ward Death here. There's no point to Hex it. Shadow Ward Death can only be used on some creatures, as the Hex can be used on anything. Same thing goes for Entomb. When you have Shadow Ward Death or Entomb, depending on the creature and depending the deck you're playing against, most of the time just using the Shadow Ward Death is better than the Entomb, because the Entomb can be used on anything. The Shadow Ward Death has, you know, requirements that it be more than 5 attack, and sometimes the creatures that, you know, have lower attack could be better for your deck versus the other person's deck in that particular matchup. We have 2 of these Shadow Priests, so I really don't mind using this to burn him, because we have 2 of these in our hand. If we only had 1, I wouldn't have used it right there, but because we have 2, it makes sense. And I see him using his passive to deal 2 damage and then like lightning bolting it down, but then, oh god. This could be really bad. Fireball Yogg. Yeah, buddy. Most of the time, Yogg, it's supposed to benefit you. If it's, oh my god. Does lock and load work for his, no, okay. So 2 Raven Idols. If he draws any more cards, they're just getting discarded. Well, that worked out. What did he, oh, his, what? We have nothing to do. Oh, this is, oh, we still don't have OTK potential, boys. And OTK means, oh, wouchy boo-boos. The Elise is a heavy discard there. Heavy discard. Oh, the Kansamida! Oh man, that sucks. Yogg just turned him dirty, man. Yogg just did you Yogg did not do you justice. That's okay. Because yeah, we've been fucked by Yogg so many times. I'm glad to see it didn't wreck me right there. We have class in 2 hours. I don't have time for another render. So we'll just cancel this one here. We'll just upload this one and annotate it. This will be the one we post today. That's just the way it is. Any new comments on the floor? Comments on the floor. No comments on the floor. Oh my god, another priest. Okay, alright. Well, we know how to play this matchup. Okay, no. I actually like these just because they have 4 attack. Okay. It's pretty good. Coining out the Elise, probably not going to be the opening play. or the turn 3 play. Shifting Shade is really good for us to draw into. Then I'll actually coin out the Elise. Alright, so we're playing Death Rattle Priest. I think our addition to Death Rattle Priest is a little bit better than most people's, as we built it very nicely, in my opinion. I think this is a very strong deck. I'm actually not even going to post this Road to Legend until I reach Legend, hopefully. Oh man, you just thought steal our deck. Fuck you, man. Our deck is better than yours. You don't need cards out of it. Why would you take my cards, man? Alright, so we're going to, well, we have to coin into 2 5-drops, or we Elise, and then we have no 4-drop. And you have no way to deal with a 5-drop, unless you play Shifting Shade here. I think we save it. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I don't think I'm going to post the Road to Legend until I hit Legend. Don't play Shifting Shade. Fuck me. Damn it, man. Okay. Well, if we play the Elise, it trades, and then he's going to have to trade something else into it. If we play the Alchemist, well, we could... No, we can't do that. I think Elise is fine. Only because he played the Shade. But yeah, because I really don't want to play my own Priest deck on ladder, and it seems like every time I post like a deck guide, I play decks very similar to that very soon after. So it's not that fun. For me, at least. Alright, gonna go ahead and heal ourselves, and then we're going to coin, and we're going to Power Word Shield this so we can actually kill our 4-drop, which is pretty important. So now he's gonna have to waste something else to kill our 4/5, and hopefully he didn't get anything that great out of his Shade, even though every card in our deck is pretty important. At least we know he didn't get Sylvanas. Anything in our hand we know he didn't get, so there's a less likely chance he got Entomb, Corruptor, things like this. You know he didn't get Sylvanas, Soul Priest. So for 3 damage, turn 6, this is fine. We can actually, we're going to definitely be entombing that Sylvanas. And then we're going to kill off his Northshire Cleric. We want basically him to entomb our bad stuff and force him, I'll explain it when it gets there. We've already played this matchup today, so you basically know what's going on. Flash Heal 5, this is 7. This actually seems pretty good right now. If we play the Curator, we can still do the good stuff. So we're gonna play this first and see what's going on here. Wow, that's shitty. So it's either a Huge Toad or a Harvest Golem. We play Harvest Golem, it can get taken. I would normally always pick Harvest Golem, right? But in this matchup, I actually like Corrupted Healbot. It's a 6/6. He's going to have to waste some CC to get rid of it. If we heal this up, it's actually just going to die. Oh, we can actually just Darkshire it back up. But then if we hit into it, it's going to have 3, and then it can die. But Flash Heal works well with the Soul Priest, so I think we're going to go like this. Unfortunately now, though, he can use, what is it called? Excavated Evil, and it kills 2 of our cards, which is not good. But if we use Flash Heal, I'd rather save Flash Heal for Soul Priest, to be honest, in this particular matchup. So he's Soul Priest, so if we would pick the Harvest Golem, that would have been kind of bad. Okay. So, healing this, Shadow Priest, Flash Heal on that seems pretty good. So swing. Well, Shadow Priest, Flash Heal is only 5, and then we have 8 left up. So let's... Well, this is only going to take 5, right? Yeah, so let's see what we draw. Another Entomb is good. Then we still have 5. And then we Soul Priest, we Flash Heal, and we go face. It's going to be extremely difficult for this Priest to get rid of our board. Again, without the... Unless he Soul Priest Circle of Healing, and then he still... That only does 4. And then so he's going to have to use his passive, and then he's going to have to use another spell. So there's the Excavated Evil that doesn't really do much here. Unless he has another Excavated Evil and or... yeah. We're just going to Museum here, see what we get. Another Sylvanas. And then we're just going to go face. and we're not going to play anything else because we're going to be playing around the Soul Priest Circle of Healing. Or another Excavated Evil, which you just drew off the top. Okay, so now we're going to be playing... I like Harrison Jones here. And the reason being I like Harrison Jones is because he's going to Shadow Word Death it. And then after he Shadow Word Deaths it, we follow up with a Corrupted Heal Bot. And then if he's going to use another Shadow Word Death or an Entomb, see, Shadow Word Death. We're gonna play this priest, only because I don't really feel like taking anything he has. Plus he has 10 cards and he can't effectively deal with a 4/5, so he's gonna have to do something here. And if he does something, we can entomb that. So he entombs that. Okay, so now we're gonna play Sylvanas. So we would have played in Sylvanas, it would have gotten entombed. So now we play our Sylvanas. After this Sylvanas dies, if he Shadow Word Deaths it, then we can N'Zoth Corruptor. Tony is here. I don't know where he is though. So now we're gonna... actually, we probably should have played Corrupted Healbot first, but it's okay. It's fine. Health isn't really a resource that we need to worry about right now. So he's used both his Entombs, one Shadow Word Death. He keeps top decking all the cards he needs, which is pretty interesting. That's pretty good. So he used a he got a Thought Steal, the Shadow Word Death, and then he got the Sylvanas out of the Curator. Okay. Well, this 6/6 is annoying. Do we just play another Sylvanas? I think so. Hopefully he doesn't take this Sylvanas too, because then we'll have no Sylvanas for N'Zoth. Like, I need the Sylvanas to basically die on my side of the field. I like how people in the office just walk in here and expect me to look over and start talking to them as I'm in a video. It's really awesome. Did he Excavated Evil and now he's going to kill Sylvanas? This is fantastic. Have any of our no Shifting Shades have died? What did we get out of... Oh, that doesn't work. N'Zoth here is so weak. We only get Sylvanas, right? No other Death Rattles have died? They're so incredibly weak. We need to... Oh, man. We need some of our Shifting Shades to die. That's a big card. I was hoping for maybe a Shadow Word Death, as we are running quite low on the cards.
Welcome to the Grand Tournament, champion.
We're just going to pretend like that 8/8 isn't there. We'll see how well that works out. We could have entombed that, but I really don't want to. We'll entomb it next turn if it feels like he doesn't like. Taking 8 damage, I don't mind it. We have a heal for 4 every turn, so 2 turns, it's all okay. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to entomb this 8/8. And then we're going to swing for 6. I really wish I could have had a better entomb there, but it's okay. Like, entombing his N'Zoth is huge, but depends when he plays that N'Zoth. Like, he's had so many good Death Rattles, and we haven't been able to draw our Shifting Shades. We're just going to Shadow Word Pain this Soul Priest. It was really silly for him to play that. We have 4 Excavated Evils in our hand right now. We have so much purple in our hand, guys. This is so many Excavadeds. We're going to beat him in Fatigue, though, so that's good. And he hasn't played Elise. He also hasn't played his N'Zoth, though. So there's his N'Zoth. And he's got quite the board. So I think we're just going to double Excavated. Why is he Circle of Healing? Why? Why are you double Circle of Healing? Ah, that's why. The reason he did that is because when his Shades die, they're going to give him cards out of my deck. one of the cards out of my deck is the Golden Monkey. So effectively, he doesn't need Golden Monkey in his deck. The Shades will give it to him. That was pretty smart. Along with that, we probably should have played our N'Zoth, even though it only granted us 2 cards, because then our Sylvanas would have been able to take one of his cards, and then, yeah. So now we're forced to double Excavated Evil, and the problem with this is he's going to gain 3 cards, and then he's going to be able to draw 1, and he's going to get 2 more Excavated Evils in his deck. The problem is he's got 12, 18, 23, effectively 28 damage on the board, so we can't just play our Sylvanas and do nothing. If we use 1 Excavated Evil, it still really doesn't clear up the board that well. It still leaves us as Sylvanas alive, and yeah, so we basically have to double Excavated Evil. And he's going to get quite a few cards out of our deck. And hopefully he just doesn't get the Golden Monkey, but he's getting some good stuff, I'll tell you that. That was really smart of him to throw away the Circle of Feelings. Hopefully he just got like, oh, we don't even have any Excavated Evils in our deck. So he got Shifting Shade out of my deck. Acidic Swamp Ooze. Alright, so now we're just going to use another Excavated Evil. And then probably play Sylvanas. Because I don't think he has any more Entombs. Actually, we can't play Sylvanas. We can just heal. Oh man, so now if he gets the monkey, he actually has more cards than me. Because he has 10, I have 10 to his 11 because of all those Shifting Shades. His Shifting Shades copied my 8/8. And we still haven't seemed to draw into any of our Shadow Ward deaths that we've made yet. Feels kind of bad. Hey, look, there's Iron Bark. I kind of just like Sylvanas here, right? Because Sylvanas has the possibility of taking this 8/8 as long as he didn't get... What would he have gotten out of my deck that would have got rid of Sylvanas? Oh, we've used both Entombs. He's gotten really lucky out of his shit, though, which is quite annoying. Like, he's gotten... At least he didn't copy under his off. What would he be... Ah, hopefully we take the 8/8 and punish him here. Looks like we took the 3/5 because he's targeting it with shit. Another Flash Heal. Shadow Word Pain is fine. Because we still have an 8/8 Iron Bark. We also still have 2 Shadow Word Deaths. At any point in time, we could, you know, possibly, maybe, potentially, not now, draw into. N'Zothing right now feels like it's the right play. The problem is... I actually don't know what the problem is with N'Zoth right now. If we play the Iron Bark, he Shadow Word Death 6. I can guarantee you he's gotten a Shadow Word Death. If we play our N'Zoth, we get Sylvanas. No, I haven't drawn any of my shades. I think we might have drawn 1 shade. I don't know. Playing the Iron Bark Protector feels really, really weak, though. So we're not going to play the Iron Bark Protector. We're just going to go N'Zoth. Yeah, that's how weak my... It's so bad. So essentially, what I see him doing here is killing this and then Shadow Word Deathing his... Or double Excavated Evil. Okay, so now... we've regained cards back in our deck, which this may have looked really bad, but in the actuality of how this game is going to pan out in Fatigue, we are now very ahead. Have we played both our Curators? Because his Shade could have gave him a Curator. If he has a Curator, we can take that Curator. I don't think it did. Again, playing the Iron Bark Protector, he's just going to Shadow Word Death it, but we're just going to have to take that chance. That's also less cards for him to get Monkey on if he were to get Monkey, so... This has been one crazy game. As soon as we get Monkey, though, we're using that shit. So there's the Darkshire Alchemist, okay, and the Power Word Shield, and then I'm assuming the Power Word or the Shadow Word Death on my card at any point in time. It's coming. Doesn't get it. There's our death. There's not an effective way for us to kill that unless we want to Excavated Evil, and that feels really insanely horribly bad on like multiple scales of like every level possible. We also know he used double Entomb or double Excavated Evil, so playing our Shadow Priest here really doesn't feel that bad in comparison to maybe doing some other plays. I would rather put cards on the board. We're already ahead so many cards, and he used double Excavated Evil, am I right? Which means
he's talking to me if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, I think the Shadow Priest is fine. I just really hope he didn't get my Golden Monkey, man. I deserve that Golden Monkey. He can't just take that Golden Monkey from me. That's my monkey. I made that monkey. So he's gonna Forbidden for 8. He gets a 6/10. Good news, we drew into a Shadow Word Death, which, you know, we do play those in this deck. I was gonna double Circle of Healing, which is an insane waste of cards. That's quite crazy, in my opinion, that he would do that. We're just gonna swing into this. We're gonna heal this back up, and then we're just gonna swing. We can actually kill this if we really wanted to,
Obey.
or we could just go face. We've already proved that he doesn't effectively have anything to deal with the 8/8, so we're just gonna go face.
Welcome to the exam.
Ah, so we did have a Curator left. So holding on to that her might have been the better play. The Beast, as bad as that big hound thing does look, we do, again, have another Shadow Word Death in our deck. Another Circle of Healing. This is, that's a lot of healing. There's the monkey. I do not think we monkey at this particular time. We could, though. So this is going to go into there. This is going to go into there.
We could have smacked him the beast and excavated.
I don't want to excavate. I don't want to give him any more cards. If we heal this, it doesn't do anything because it's just going to die. So healing this is the better play. We also could monkey now. But then we have no ability to... I don't know. Monkey now really isn't that bad. We're not going to monkey now. Why we could get all shitty, really shitty legendaries. We have this game in the bag as of now. So we've played this very well, in my opinion, and we deserve this rank 4, which we will obtain after this game. I am not losing to Pleb Lord. 4-1-1, 1-1-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-5, 4-5, 1-4. I'm not losing. Hey, look, Shifting Shade. He has 3 cards left. We're making value trades, son. I think that's going to be GG. Do we monkey?
Yeah. YOLO. YOLO.
YOLO monkey juice. I stay monkey. Those are some pretty good cards.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, aside from like Joe.
Cho's actually pretty solid because we have no spells. And if he decides he wants to... Ooh, there's a Kasabita on the floor! Rank 4, boys. Rank 4. Okay. So we're only like 5 days away from Legend at this rank. Because this is going to take a while. But Priest is doing it. And again, I don't think I'm going to show you these guys, these Road to Legends with this particular Priest deck until I hit Legend. Because I really don't want to play against my Priest deck on ladder. This deck is insane. As we've seen. It shits on everything besides Druid and Rogue, which we haven't come into contact with today. So, as always, guys, really glad to have you here at the end. Please, for the love of God, tell me I muted my mic. I did, so this video will not have the humming noise. And as always, guys, I'm Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.